The United States Department of the Interior is a federal executive department of the U.S. government. It is responsible for the management and conservation of most federal lands and natural resources, and the administration of programs relating to Native Americans, Alaska Natives, Native Hawaiians, territorial affairs, and insular areas of the United States, as well as programs related to historic preservation. About 75% of federal public land is managed by the department, with most of the remainder managed by the United States Department of Agriculture's United States Forest Service. The department was created on March 3, 1849. The department is administered by the United States Secretary of the Interior, who is a member of the Cabinet of the President. The current Secretary is Dave Haaland. The Inspector General position is currently held by Mark Greenblatt. Despite its name, the Department of the Interior has a different role from that of the interior ministries of other nations, which are usually responsible for police matters and internal security. In the United States, national security and immigration functions are performed by the Department of Homeland Security primarily and the Department of Justice secondarily. The Department of the Interior has often been humorously called the Department of Everything Else because of its broad range of responsibilities. A department for domestic concern was first considered by the first United States Congress in 1789. But those duties were placed in the Department of State. The idea of a separate domestic department continued to percolate for a half-century and was supported by presidents from James Madison to James Polk. The 1846–48 Mexican-American War gave the proposal new steam as the responsibilities of the federal government grew. Polk's Secretary of the Treasury, Robert J. Walker, became a vocal champion of creating the new department. In 1849, Walker stated in his annual report that several federal officers were placed in departments with which they had little to do. He noted that the General Land Office had little to do with the Treasury and also highlighted the Indian Affairs Office, part of the Department of War, and the Patent Office, part of the Department of State. Walker argued that these and other bureaus should be brought together in a new Department of the Interior. A bill authorizing its creation of the department passed the House of Representatives on February 15, 1849, and spent just over 2 weeks in the Senate. The department was established on March 3, 1849, the eve of President Zachary Taylor's inauguration, when the Senate voted 31–25 to create the department. Its passage was delayed by Democrats in Congress who were reluctant to create more patronage posts for the incoming Whig administration to fill. The first Secretary of the Interior was Thomas Ewing. On Tuesday, September 1, 2020, Secretary of the Interior David L. Bernhardt signed Secretary's Order 3384 establishing the Bureau of Trust Funds Administration. The BTFA initially reported to the Assistant Secretary of Indian Affairs Tara Katuk Sweeney and assumed responsibility for financial operations functions formerly performed by the Office of the Special Trustee for American Indians effective October 1, 2020. As of mid-2004, the department managed 507 million acres of surface land, or about 1/5 of the land in the United States. It manages 476 dams and 348 reservoirs through the Bureau of Reclamation, 410 national parks, monuments, seashore sites, etc., through the National Park Service, and 544 national wildlife refuges through the Fish and Wildlife Service. Several of the domestic concerns the department originally dealt with were gradually transferred to other departments. For example, the Department of Interior was responsible for water pollution control prior to the creation of the Environmental Protection Agency. Other agencies became separate departments, such as the Bureau of Agriculture, which later became the Department of Agriculture. However, Land and Natural Resource Management, American Indian Affairs, Wildlife Conservation, and Territorial Affairs remain the responsibilities of the Department of the Interior. The department in January 2020 grounded its fleet of 810 DJI drones used to monitor wildlife and infrastructure over security concerns. Within the Interior Department, the Bureau of Indian Affairs handles some federal relations with Native Americans, while others are handled by the Office of Special Trustee. The current acting Assistant Secretary for Indian Affairs is Lawrence S. Roberts, an enrolled member of the Oneida tribe in Wisconsin. The department has been the subject of disputes over proper accounting for Native American trusts, set up to track the income and distribution of monies that are generated by the trust and specific Native American lands, which the government leases for fees to companies that extract oil, timber, minerals, and other